Good morning. Scott Morgan, SCOTTMORGAN, Director of Public Works. Right, so city is prepared. We have 15 snow trucks being ready to be deployed salt throughout the city. We have our new plan that we're pushing out that is a route-based approach that'll allow us to be more efficient and effective in delivering services to keep those routes cleared for the citizens.
So when you say 15 snow trucks, do you mean 15 trucks with plow?
No, we have 15 salt trucks. We have 12 heavy equipment plows, and then we also have enabling a contractor with 4 plows.
Can you describe this new two broken processes? One, the solely salt, and then also the only one lane. Is that on a 3-lane road, 2-lane roads? What is described?
Right. So prior to this year, we would mix with a mixture of sand and salt. This year, we're going with just a straight salt output. That'll allow a better treatment of the roads. We have the capacity and capability to do that. And I'm sorry, what was your second question?
That you're only doing one lane?
Yes. Right. So prior to this new plan, we would do a hotspot approach. So we would go out and treat certain locations that would be bridges, inclines, declines, things like that to get those high potential areas that we know would freeze. But now we're kind of connecting everything with a route-based approach. So this will treat the entire route that would also cover those hot spots. Okay, sorry.
So can you identify which roads might be kind of safe for people to travel, like on the city proper, or the other roads that you're prioritizing?
Right, so we're focusing on heavily traveled roads. There's an interactive website on the city's webpage that talks about the roads that the city is treating as well as TDOT. It'll be 3rd Street, Jackson, Sam Cooper, Poplar, Union, things like that. We're trying to have high density counts of traffic as well as connecting individuals and citizens to the interstates.
One of the things that I've been looking at over the last 4 days, those roads you just mentioned are also state roads. We talked about collaboration in the recent days, and then today, tomorrow, that we have,
Right.
continue to have.
Right. So we do have continued coordination and collaboration with TDOT. We've had several calls with them this week. They started pre-treating with their brine solution on Tuesday. The city started yesterday, and we will finish today, early afternoon, pre-treating all the streets. We'll be in constant communication with them to make sure, our crews aren't doubling up too much on streets. They're going to focus on interstates, as well as they're going to start deploying their crews. Once the interstates are sufficient for their needs, we'll start shifting to state routes as well, and we'll be in coordination with them on our treating of the state routes.
So in terms of treating, there's the salting that's before the precipitation, and then are these same roads that you're talking about, is that where plows will then be deployed to keep them in?
So the pre-treatment brine is before precipitation, and then once precipitation starts, we'll salt, allow that time to activate with the snow and start melting it, and then the same routes will be deployed with plows.
Do you anticipate that being like overnight, once it starts snowing, like midnight, 1, or do you think you'll wait till the morning?
Starting early evening, our crews will be staffed, 24/7 until the event's over, as well as our contractors. So, right now, we start based on the recent, weather. You might start seeing some precipitation 10:30, and then obviously as snow accumulates, we'll deploy as needed.
Can you talk about, two things? Number one, you just talked about workers and also contractors. How many workers will you have working, let's just say, from 10 o'clock tonight till tomorrow afternoon, and how many contractors the same? And also, let's speak to, usually the neighborhoods and side roads, they just get completely ignored, and that's what we all are going to show the disaster.
Crews, I'm not sure about crews. How many staff? Okay. Staff is about 35 city employees that will cover each shift for, the event. And those are, 8-hour shifts, 24/7. contracted, we have 4 employees deployed with the contractor, and they work 12-hour shifts. And, you know, side streets are not any different from prior years. I mean, we're trying to treat major thoroughfares, get citizens to heavily traveled streets, and to the interstate, you know, connect back to the connectivity. Neighborhoods and smaller streets, you know, citizens will have to be mindful and aware of, you know, the weather conditions as well as what they can feel like they can do.
Thankfully this week we didn't have like the winter mix that we've seen in previous years where it's like a mix of rain and sludge. Talk about how that's helped the streets be stable.
Right, so the weather is right now, you know, on our side. I mean, they're calling just for snow. We don't have a lot of rain before the event, which does wash away the pre-treatment brine solution that we would apply. So, you know, that's being put on dry. It's staying dry. Hopefully, you know, when it does, it'll just start snowing and there won't be any rain ahead. In addition, they're not calling for any ice. And that's, you know, that's the biggest thing. If it stays the way it is and we got straight snow, you know, the salt as well as the plows, you know, will keep those lanes open.
So in terms of other streets, there are obviously the priority streets in the past, and those are state roads. Will there be more north-south streets, for example, Mount Moriah is on the plan, for example, Ridgeway, not the extensive parts of that, there's of course airways that is part of the plan.
Right.
Will those be expanded as you need?
Right now, we're staying with the plan. I mean, obviously, we can shift if roads are clear and we can, you know, potentially start to get to some secondary locations. But right now, we're going to stay with the plan. This will be our first time implementing it. But obviously, as we go into future weather events, we'll be looking at what worked, what didn't work, and modifying those routes as needed.
How much of what you can do is constrained by the amount of equipment that you have? The city does not have a ton of snowplows. You know, there's
Right.
how do you justify more snowplows for once a year event?
Right, we'll look at that. You know, with this new approach and the routes that we're covering, we'll look at the coverage and, you know, potentially look at possibly, engaging in more plows on the city fleet. But we'll just have to see once we go through a couple of events on this route-based approach.
Two questions.
How do you think this new plan will differ or help drivable services relative to previous plans?
It'll provide more connectivity. I mean, it'll be more efficient because we are treating entire routes. So we want to make sure we keep one lane clear in each direction. If we have the capability, you know, we can start looking at others. That may be harder in like an ice event, you know, where it is harder to plow the roads, but if it does stay, you know, snow like it is, and the salt works like it should, we'll continue to keep those routes open.
And that kind of springs kind of an necessary question because they are, with the possibility of ice on the border of Memphis and Mississippi. Can you tell us what you're preparing for the possibility of ice going into the city of Memphis?
It would be, I mean, it'd be the same approach. I mean, it'll still be the same equipment that we use, you know, whether it's snow or ice. It just gets harder to plow if it is ice.
Even though you are pre-treating the roads and treating them during the event, can you emphasize the importance of residents staying home unless it's absolutely necessary?
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing is be mindful of the routes, be patient with the crews. You know, it will take time to go through all the routes. It's 330 lane miles. So, you know, be patient with the crews and then watch weather forecasts and just, you know, limit probably what you need to driving. But I know that's sometimes hard for.
And then 330 lane miles, are those the roads being treated or all of those?
Those are the roads being treated.
What is going to be your availability tomorrow with the jurisdiction from cameras that you're doing?
We got a plan for that. We got an excellent plan.
I will defer.
So then, all right, my last question is, congratulations on your new position. This is your first event, I guess?
Yes.
As the Director of Public Works?
Yes.
I would assume you feel pretty confident about the plan?
I do. We got a good team. I feel confident. I mean, I've been with Public Works for 19 years. Haven't been directly involved in snow and ice, but I feel good about the plan. We put a lot of work into it over the summer and fall, getting ready for it, and we'll implement.
Can you talk a little bit about how this kind of better aligns with what's happening in other states or cities?
Right.
This kind of mirrors what
Right, we looked at sister cities across the state, as well as our state, as well as other states, and this is fairly consistent, using a route-based approach to keep entire routes open versus just certain locations.
I do have a question. After all this winter weather, sometimes we start to see potholes in the roads, and that's already an issue here. Is there a plan after the ice and snow melts to make sure that there's not road?
Right. Yes, the crews are ready. The temperatures will rise to where we'll be able to make asphalt. If it's cold enough to where we can't make, we do have cold mix asphalt, but crews will be ready to roll out right behind, snow events like this to fill potholes. I would encourage citizens, if they see potholes, to report them. We don't know of every location that's out in the city, but if we can get reported, we'll certainly fill them. 311 is the best number for that.
And I know that, electricity and water, the responsibility of them is definitely, but has the city kept in contact about possibilities of boil water advisory or broken water mains?
Yes, the city has been advised by Memphis Light, Gas, and Water on their power and water demands.
You can't, does it have to snow 2 inches before the plows go, or where is it?
We're deploying plows once it's, TDOT's limit is a 1/4 inch. I mean, we'll deploy plows starting probably later this morning or early Friday morning. We will not wait for the 2 inches just because of the accumulation that they're predicting.
Final question, do you anticipate or do you know how much the overtime might cost? And did you have any difficulty getting equipment or contractors with the severity of this storm?
Equipment, we have. Our equipment, we make sure it's maintained, went through dry runs, several months ago to make sure everything and, all the pumps and parts worked. Contractor, we contacted and there were 4 plows were available, so we went ahead and reserved those. I don't know overtime.
We'll get you that out.
Yeah. Because it just depends if, how much we're working Saturday into Sunday. But hopefully with the rising temperatures, the sun will help melt a lot of it too.
Any other questions?
Last question, can you get your personal cell phone?
569.
Good? All right. Thank y'all.
If Robert was here, he would be in tears because he just knocked it out. Knocked it out. You're a pro.
Good to see you. Yes, sir.
Today, local, tomorrow, Saturday.
No, I don't know about that.
Yes.
Scott, Collins is where everybody usually
Yeah.
goes. Is there another, Collins Church is one of the only